A number plane is used to locate a position in 2 dimensions within a plane. It uses 2 number lines to form a grid system so that the points can be precisely located. What I've drawn here is a rough plane. We have the horizontal axes, the x-axis. We have the vertical axes, the y-axis. And where these axes meet is the O for origin. We have a grid system here that helps us plot things precisely. And you can see that each of these lines is numbered. So I've given 1 to 5 and 1 to 5 on this here. So the position of a point on a number plane is given as a pair of numbers known as coordinates. Coordinates are always written in brackets and the numbers are separated by a comma. So we're going to do some plotting of coordinates on this here today. So I'm going to draw these now. So bracket, I'm going to pick some numbers and we're going to find these on the number plane here. 3, 4 bracket, bracket 0, 5 bracket, bracket 1, 4 bracket, and we'll do one more, 3, 0 bracket. So what you need to understand is that these numbers are in order for a reason. This is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. So when we plot on the number plane, we always crawl before we walk. That means we crawl along here on the x-axis, then we stand up and we walk up to y. So let's have a look at this. We'll plot these on there now. So the first one says 3, 4. So we go along the x-axis, we go along and we find 3. Now that we've located 3, we must go up now and locate 4. So up the vertical axis, we find 4, and this is our point here. So I'm going to put a dot there. I'm just going to draw an arrow just to show you where it is. We don't normally do this in our work. The next one is 0, 5. So we need to stay here on this one because even though we can't see a 0, where the origin is down here is a 0. So we don't go anywhere. We can't go across 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have to stay here at 0 on the x-axis because x comes before y. And now we can go up the x-axis all the way to 5, the y-axis I should say, and now we have our dot there. So this one is right on the axis there of the y-axis. You can have them on the axis. When you have a 0 involved, you will find that 1 will sit on the axis. Right, number 1 and 4. So we go along the x-axis of 1, and then we go up 4. We plot this one here. So this one goes there. And the last one here is 3 and 0. So we go across the x-axis, we crawl across to 3. And because it says 0, we can't go up. We've got to stay here. So this is our 3, 0. So the x-coordinate, the input is always written first. The x-coordinate indicates how far to go from the origin in the horizontal direction. And the y-coordinate, the output, is always written second. The y-coordinate indicates how far to go from the origin in the vertical direction. So now that we've placed coordinates onto the Cartesian plane, I'm now going to take some coordinates on the Cartesian plane and place them as coordinates. So I'm going to write them. So I'm going to locate A first. So preparing open bracket, comma, close bracket, and I'm going to place 2 numbers. So we go X before Y, we crawl before we stand up and walk. So if I look at A here, its cross on the X-axis is 1, comma, and it's on the Y-axis as 1. So that's a 1, 1 coordinate. Let's look for B. B is located here. So we come across to 2, we put a comma down, and we go up to 3, and then we close the bracket. C is here, open the bracket, come across to 4, comma, so we've gone along the x-axis, put the comma down, and go up to C, which is on 3, and close the brackets. D, all the way up the top here. So we go across into 4 again on the x-axis, put a comma, and we go all the way up to 5 and close the bracket. E is on the x-axis, So we open the bracket, we go across to 4, comma, and because we don't go up, we leave it at 0 and we close the bracket. And the last one is F. Open the bracket. We don't go across the x-axis, we stay at 0, put a comma, and we climb up to 4 and we close the bracket.